Willow Bend was a neighborhood that ran on routine. Lawns were mowed on Saturdays. Trash bins were rolled out on Tuesdays. And every spring, the flamingo migration began. It wasn't real flamingos, of course. It was plastic ones, bright pink, slightly faded, and proudly displayed by the residents of Lot 16. The flamingos were a tradition. They appeared in April, multiplied by May, and by June, they were everywhere. But one morning, they were gone. Every single flamingo vanished overnight. And so began the strangest investigation Willow Bend had ever seen. The flamingos had started as a joke. 10 years ago, Mr. and Mrs. Pennington placed 2 plastic birds in their yard to celebrate retirement. The neighbors laughed. Then they joined in. Soon, the flamingos became a symbol of spring, cheerful, tacky, and beloved. Each year, the Penningtons added more. A flamingo in a sun hat. A flamingo pushing a lawnmower. A flamingo reading a book. By the time the migration peaked, there were over 30 flamingos in their yard, each with a name, a backstory, and a fan club. So when they disappeared, it wasn't just a prank. It was a crisis. It was Mrs. Pennington who noticed first. She stepped outside with her morning tea and froze. The yard was empty. No flamingos. No footprints. No broken fences. She called her husband. He called the HOA. The HOA called a meeting. Neighbors gathered in folding chairs, clutching coffee and theories. Some blamed teenagers. Others suspected rival neighborhoods. A few whispered about HOA sabotage. But one thing was clear: the flamingos were gone. And Willow Bend wanted them back. The HOA formed a task force, Operation Flamingo. It included 3 retirees, 1 middle schooler, and a Labrador named Pickles. They canvassed the neighborhood. They checked security footage. They interviewed every resident on the block. Lot 20 claimed they saw headlights at midnight. Lot 9 reported a strange whistling sound. Lot 4 said they heard laughter, but it might have been the TV. The task force created a map, a timeline, and a list of suspects. But the flamingos remained missing. Then came the first clue. A single flamingo appeared on the lawn of Lot 22. It was wearing sunglasses and holding a tiny sign that read, "I'm on vacation." The neighborhood buzzed with excitement. Was it a message? A joke? A ransom? The next day, another flamingo appeared, this time on the roof of the community center, wearing a cape. Then another, perched in a tree. Then one floating in the fountain. It was a scavenger hunt. And Willow Bend was hooked. Residents began searching. They formed teams. They made maps. They posted sightings on the HOA bulletin board. Each flamingo had a theme. A flamingo dressed as a pirate. A flamingo doing yoga. A flamingo in a tiny hammock. It was whimsical. It was ridiculous. It was perfect. Even the HOA, usually strict and serious, began to smile. Operation Flamingo became a neighborhood event. And the Penningtons? They were delighted. The final flamingo appeared on the Penningtons' lawn 2 weeks later. It was wearing a crown and holding a scroll. The scroll read, "Dear Willow Bend, thank you for playing. We wanted to remind you that joy can be found in the smallest things, even in plastic birds. See you next spring. Sincerely, the Flamingo Relocation Committee." No one ever discovered who planned it. Some suspected the middle schooler. Others blamed the retirees. A few believed it was Pickles the Labrador. But no one really wanted to know. The mystery was part of the magic. The flamingo migration returned the next year, bigger, brighter, and even more absurd. Residents added their own birds. They built flamingo mailboxes. They hosted flamingo tea parties. And every spring, the Flamingo Relocation Committee struck again. It became a tradition, a celebration, a reminder that even in the most orderly neighborhoods, a little chaos can be a beautiful thing. Because in Willow Bend, the rules may be strict. But the flamingos? They're free.